Good evening, Hyperspinners. Today we're going to be talking about what is Hyperspin, so get ready. Couple questions ahead of time. Do you like emulation? Do you like PC games? Do you like retro games? If you answered yes to any of those questions, or all three of those, you are in the right spot. So, first question is what is Hyperspin? Hyperspin is a front end, sort of like Kodi if you're into movies, but this is specifically around games. You can launch other applications that are unrelated to games, if you will, but this is wholeheartedly a front end for whatever you're after at launching. It neatly organizes all of your games as well as any other app, and that's really all there is to it, guys. It's 100% free. You can sign up for a platinum membership on EmuMovies, which is essentially a way to get all of your videos displaying of a game preview, or you could become platinum within Hyperspin to basically mass download these themes, sort of like a preview of the game itself, which I'll be showcasing you some of this. So I wanted to kind of do it justice here and kind of show off the system that I've created from scratch here. And you can easily do this yourself. I've dedicated my tutorials in my channel specifically to Hyperspin and how to set that up, because there's a lot of documentation out there, but if you're like me, I'd rather watch a video to get something set up. Sure, the words are out there. It is a hunt. There's not really a centralized location, and I've become that niche, I guess. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to pull up Hyperspin and I'm going to show things off here. I will say you will find a number of websites on the net that say they are affiliated with Hyperspin or they look legit. These guys are drive sellers, and it's strongly discouraged to participate in this. One, because their drives just simply don't work. If you check me out on the hyperspinfe.com site, you're going to find that I have Ninja2BScene has over 4,000 forum posts, and these posts are anywhere from helping others or asking questions myself just to get something set up. So I've seen a number of these setups through TeamView, and they I'm embarrassed for them in terms of the organization that they have. Wheels don't work, their media is missing. It's just a hot mess. And of course, there's going to be people are very happy with their purchase, which is fine. It's great that they're happy, and that's all that matters. But it's strongly discouraged here, and you can totally do this for free in just a little bit of time. You could obviously spend a ton of time tweaking this and making it your own. It's just how much time that you want to put in it. So I think with the tutorials that I'm creating, you can be set up in a very quick turnaround time. And if you decide to become platinum within Hyperspin, there's actually setups for an instant sort of appeal here. So there's a download that allows you to set up 60 systems, I think it is. It was created by Gigapig, which I will provide the link in the description below. That can help you get started as well. But there's a ton of resources out here to help you guys get things up and running. And it can seem daunting, but it's really not too bad once you get used to it. So that is what I'm here to do, is make things easier for you. And here is the download section here, hyperspinfe.com/files. This is the 62 system download, essentially. There are no games included in any of this, but a simple Google search will get the job done here. But here's the download, easy, as pie here, and this will get you going in no time. So that is sort of my spiel here. Let's go ahead and open up Hyperspin, and I'll kind of describe, what it's all doing here. So before I do that, you're going to find a couple apps when you essentially go to install Hyperspin. You're going to have Hyperspin, which is the actual front end to all of it. That's where all the beauty comes from. The Rocket Launcher UI app is sort of the guts and the bolts behind it. So when you launch a system, Rocket Launcher is the actual thing going and hunting for that setup. So just kind of keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and get started here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Hyperspin, and what you're going to notice is this is going to be really different than what you might see on YouTube typically. You might see one wheel. I've got a nested wheel, so I've got essentially the most advanced setup that you could possibly find here, and it all works seamlessly. So what I'm going to do is just kind of talk through the GUI interface, and we'll go from there. So I'm opening up Hyperspin here. This is a video essentially, and it kind of gives you a theme of what this is all about. When I go up and down here, this is the wheel. You can see off to the right here, there's a wheel that goes in a circular motion, and these are sort of the categories. And there's a pointer off to the right there that kind of animates and pumps, if you will, and it points to the selection that I'm about to choose. So if I were to select all systems and just kind of sit over it, there's the theme. It's a video, and it just kind of displays what that's all about. If I go down and go to, let's say, councils, this is the theme for the council section for myself, and it just gives you a quick snapshot. You can see in the top left there's sort of a main menu frame, and then I've got some weather, and then down at the bottom I've got the buttons for the setup essentially, and I've got an arcade cabinet, but I can also plug in any other controller, and that will get the job done. So there's the buttons, and then I think next is going to be the Xbox buttons or PlayStation buttons, and it just tells you how to use this Hyperspin setup here. The bottom right shows basically the location of where you're at. This is the main menu essentially, but if you are just downloading straight from Hyperspin, you're going to look at something like this, the Hyperspin all system wheel. And you're basically just going to have a list of all your systems here as you are setting things up. And I prefer putting this all in a numeric order, so like when it came out. But let's go ahead and open up one of these, and we'll see what this is all about. Maybe we'll start with main here, which is arcade classics here. So that wheel art is basically custom made, and we share it on the online community at hyperspin.com. You can find pretty much anything that anyone shares on that site. Also on the FTP, which I'll kind of show that off in just a little bit. But what we're going to do is we're going to enter the main wheel, this Arcade Classics here. And from here, same thing applies. We've got that wheel off to the right, and these are all of your games. And we've got that pointer telling me where I'm looking at. And if I'm scrolling through here quick, you're going to notice the theme does not change in the background. There are themes that animate, and there are themes that are just static pictures. It just sort of represents the game that you're looking at. So here you go. So you've got some brief animations, you've got some arm movements, which is kind of nice. And then you've got the video, which is your game snap. All of these game snaps come from Emu Movies website, and you can access all of these gameplay videos if you are a Emu Movies member. If you've donated, you get access to the FTP have a way to sync your media very quickly, or you can do it for free. It'll just take you literally probably years to do it, because you'd have to download each one individually, and there's a cap on your download each day. So it is recommended, obviously, and you know, I'm not getting paid here. This is all, you know, me doing this for free. So yeah, that is the framework of Hyperspin itself. And when you launch one of these wheels here, you'll launch the game itself. And yeah, that is Hyperspin. So you can see there's some games. If we were to back up, we could even go to like apps. So Blissbox is a specific hardware that allows you to play with your old rocket launcher, or sorry, your old controllers. And you know, I could launch that application, or I could launch comic books. Really, the sky's the limit here, guys. Whatever you guys want to launch, you can do that. This is essentially a launcher that makes things look beautiful. So that is Hyperspin, and you can you know, organize this by genres. You can you know, select favorites here. Here, I'll go ahead and select maybe I don't know. We'll pull up a system here, and we'll pull up a genre. So let's go back to MAME, and if you were to look up genres, I'm going to push a button here, and this would basically organize those games on that wheel on how I chose. So if I wanted to like all action games, I could, you know, click on that, and that's going to get me a wheel of all the games that are, you know, action based on the system that I'm in. You can also say favorites. So you can create basically a list of favorites that you think deserve a wheel itself. And yeah, so it's just Hyperspin's a great way to organize your games, quickly access it, and have in a track mode. So if you have a cabinet, there's no better system, in my opinion, that will allow you to showcase this. So that is essentially Hyperspin, guys, and I wanted to show you the FTP, because I know a lot of you guys, when you, at least me, when I was looking into Hyperspin, I had a lot of questions around what was on the FTP. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up, and I know I've done a video already before on you know, signing into the FTP and what's on it, but since this is an introductory video, I just wanted to hit the highlights here. So what you're looking at here is the FTP for Emmy movies. You can see there's artwork, bezels, game guides. You know, there's a dojo that I've created, basically my tutorials that I'm doing. I'm uploading things as I go, and platform videos. But the bread and butter for Emmy movies, at least for me, were the video snaps. I mean, we're talking, I couldn't even tell you how many are on here, but you know, every one of these systems have a short, let's say 30-second blurb of gameplay, and I mean, there's 4,700 files just right there. I just pulled up a random folder there. Now with the Hyperspin FTP, it's going to be a little different, but it's the same sort of gig here. If I were to go down to, let's say, MAME, you're going to find all the wheels, all the cards, all the letters. So everything that you just saw in Hyperspin, this is what makes it beautiful. So the letters is like when you're searching for a game, you can find all of the games that are under, let's say, letter A. The pointer, which you saw off to the right there, pointing at the game that you're searching, that is what that is. And then the wheels, that was the wheel art that you were seeing as I was moving through the games. So I created basically a background for those games. A lot of these are you know, just basic you know, graphics of the icons of the games, but you can see just right there that aqua green, I mean, that has 3,200 files in it. You know, you can't go wrong with this. You know, we've got the wheels, themes are those you know, the backgrounds and the animated art. Again, you can download a lot of these individually, but again, who is going to do all of that, you know, one by one? I will say the last thing that I'd like to say is you know, if you are thinking about buying a drive, you know, consider, you know, anything other than that, you know, because you can do this for free. I know a lot of you guys might not have time, but you know, just save yourself the headache. You know, find someone that you can trust, or you know, just you know, go to Arcade Punks, anything. I mean, you can download, you know, packs that are going to be, you know, better equipped here, or images. But that is Hyperspin in a nutshell, guys. I just wanted to keep it real with you guys. I've been through it all, and I am here to, you know, document, you know, how to set this thing up. So I hope that helps you guys, and we will catch you next time.